Happy Monday, friends! It's another week, and I thought that this would be a great time to try weekly vlogging. So today's been a bit of a slow start. I have posted a review on Instagram for the Honey Witch, and I'm just hanging out. I have to run some errands, and then I'm gonna come back home and I'm going to read my book. I thought we could do a little job of the day. So I have my Filament Farms dragon earrings on. I have my Shop Auroras and Pros Ryerson Winglater t-shirt on with an ancient long sleeve from Aerie underneath it. Pants are from Target. My read of the day is The Teller of Small Fortunes. I'm listening to the audiobook of this and I'm really enjoying it so far. Right now I don't really have a drink, but my drink will be water. I already had an iced coffee today. So yeah, time for me to run my errands, and I will see you when I'm all done. Home from my errands. I actually got home a while ago, but I didn't do anything fun during my errands or after my errands. We got ice cream, and that was very exciting because I love caliccis. You don't understand. It's my favorite ice cream in the entire world. Technically it's frozen custard, but it's ice cream. It's so good. Anyway, so after I had my caliccis, I just hung out and I was scrolling social media. So, oh, and I filmed a job of the day for Instagram. I edited that and posted it. So yeah, I am just admiring this sunset. It's so pretty. It doesn't even show up on camera and do it justice. It's so vibrant and so orange. I don't know, but I love it. And now I'm thinking I'm probably gonna start listening to my audiobook, and I'm not really sure what else I'm going to do at this moment. I haven't decided yet. The cats are like, please feed me dinner. It's not time for dinner yet. It's not. It's not dinner time. I'm so sorry. This is niche as hell. But my cats used to snuggle all the time, and like the past couple of years they've just been fighting nonstop. Like they can't even get near each other. But right now, look at them. Oh, it's always the cat beds. It's always the cat beds. My babies. I'm so happy. You have no idea. Hi besties, I haven't made like any updates today because I didn't really do anything. I did laundry. I listened to my audiobook while I was folding my laundry. I posted some content on Bookstagram, and I also was reading on my phone because I was catching up on some beta reads and some alpha reads for some authors. It was not very exciting. It was just me reading a Google Doc on my phone, making comments. So anyway, there wasn't a lot to update. I've also been watching a lot of booktube videos myself, which again, not that enjoyable for you to see me do that, but I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated because I'm pretty new to this space, and I'm feeling like I'm gonna have to carve out my own kind of space here, because I'm gathering that this is a very different type of platform from what I'm used to. And I don't tend to share the same opinions about reading and readers and what constitutes a good book to a lot of booktubers. Because I don't think there's anything wrong if you only want to escape into fantasy and romance with your free time. If you're not a person who is interested in reading literature, I don't think you should have to. Granted, I don't think there's anything wrong if you would like to challenge your mind, but if you lead a stressful life, I don't see why escaping into a light, fluffy book hurts anybody or makes you illiterate or incapable of forming a thought for yourself. That might be a hot take. I stand firm on this belief. Anyway, that being said, this is a judgment-free zone unless you defend book Siren and all that drama. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Threads, and that's where you'll find all the tea. I don't want to get into that here, but if you're reading that book that caused all that drama, I will judge you for that. But beyond that, there are very few things I would ever judge anybody for reading. Anyway, I thought I'd share what I'm currently reading. I'm listening to the audiobook of The Teller of Small Fortunes still. I'm about 30% of the way in. I think that's right. I think I'm like 30% of the way in now. And I'm really enjoying this. I wasn't sure if I would ever be a cozy fantasy girly, because usually what keeps me going is Ronald decides now is his moment to play with his ball. Anyway, what usually keeps me going is the epic nature of fantasy. I like the action, the dagger to the throat, the enemies to lovers. That's usually what gets me going. However, I'm really enjoying that this is kind of a leisurely book. We are following this character who tells small fortunes, goes from town to town, and then meets these characters, and these characters join her on her journey with no destination in mind. There's not like something they're going to do. They're just going on the journey. She's just going from town to town telling fortunes, and these individuals join her for their own reasons, but also just to like be together, have a little community of people traveling together, and the group grows. At 30%, there's, you know, she started off as one person, and then she added 2 guys, and then added, another woman when they got to a town. It's just, I'm really enjoying it. Oh. There's also a lot of discussion about discrimination. He's dumb. There's a lot of good discussion about a lot of serious topics, but it's done in such a way that's very light. It's easy to digest, but it's like very relevant, very important, and I'm really enjoying it. A couple of the books that I am beta and alpha reading for are like a dark romance and an Omegaverse and a fantasy, so I have a nice variety going for me. I also, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I have a, what is it called? A broadcast channel, which I have lovingly named my We Are Currently Reading book Gremlins, because if I were to describe my reading journey or my reading style, it would be a gremlin. It'd be a little book gremlin, because I just like collect books and I read feral things, and I kind of bounce back and forth. I'm a mood reader to the max. It's a bit chaotic. There's no rhyme or reason for why I read the things I do or when I read the things I do. So, Book Gremlins, my broadcast channel. At the end of 2024, I filled out one of those templates that circulate Bookstagram at the end of the year, and it was the 12 books recommended by 12 friends for 12 months. I think that's right. I have failed this challenge every year because I start off really strong, but I'm a mood reader, so I don't get to all the books because I'm not in the mood to read them. So in true Haley fashion, I filled it out again, and I did one in my stories like I typically do, but I decided to include my broadcast channel for a second template. So I had my book gremlins, as I lovingly call them, pick my next read. Rather, pick my first read from those 12 books. So I picked 2 books that I knew. I did a little research, and I saw 2 of them were on Kindle Unlimited, which makes it significantly easier because I'm not sure I'm gonna get access to some of the books that were recommended to me because they're not available at my library. They're not on Kindle Unlimited, and I don't really want to buy them. So I might have to push those back to the end of the year to either try to find a used copy, request them from my library, or something. Maybe I'll put them on my Amazon wish list and someone will gift them to me. I don't know. Anyway, so that is how I picked my January read for that challenge. And the book that won was Shadows of You by Catherine Cowles. So I've never read anything by Catherine Cowles. I did get sent one of her books recently, and I haven't read that one either because I got it right as I was moving. Yeah, I doubt they'll send me any more because they sent me an email. They were like, if you want to be considered for future books, you have to fill out this form that you read and reviewed it. And I was like, that's gonna happen maybe, eventually, one day, someday. I'm excited to read it, but your girl's been busy. I'm excited to start that soon. I needed to get through at least those beta reads and alpha reads first because I have already promised people I would read those. There's also an arc that recently dropped into my Kindle that I think I need to pick up soon, but I don't anticipate that taking me very long because it is an Omegaverse. Those are pretty light, fluffy, quick reads. Even if they're long, I don't anticipate that taking very long. That's kind of what I'm planning. Hopefully I can stick to that. I am not trying to rush through The Teller of Small Fortunes because I really want to like enjoy that book. Usually what kind of speeds me through and like kind of makes me need to like read books at a rapid pace is usually that I have like a book checked out from Libby and my Libby hold is going to expire, or I am on some sort of ARC team or promotional team and I need to get it done by a certain date, and usually that just like forces me to pump out books at a rapid rate, which is generally speaking my own fault because I do request these books or I have agreed to read them because someone has asked me to. It is my own fault, but for 2025 I have decided that I'm going to try to slow down and really enjoy the books I'm reading, which is why this year I did lower my goal. My goal the past couple years has been around 200 books. Actually, yes, the last 2 years. The year before that my goal was, I think it was 2022, my goal was at 75 books because the previous year I had read 50 and I was like, oh, 75 is perfect, and I ended up reading like 250 books almost. But, and then I set my goal for 2023 to 200 and I met that just barely, and so I set 200 again for my goal last year and I did not even close to making that. I read like 137 books, I believe. So anyway, I set my goal for 100 books this year because I think that's reasonable. I think that's a good pace for me. It allows me to slow down. It allows me to enjoy the books I'm reading. It gives me time to make content while staying on top of my goal, because, you know, who doesn't want to reach their goal? And it gives me time to do things like beta and alpha reading, things I can't necessarily track on one of those reading apps because the book's not out yet, doesn't have a release date, it's not on the app yet. I digress. I didn't mean for this to turn into a conversation about my goals for the year, but here we are. Those are my reading goals for the year. As for these book vlogs, I haven't been very good about figuring out how I want to do these videos. I haven't decided if I want to show me reading, if I want to do like a timer and show you how long I've been reading and like my update of like, I sat down at this point and read X number of minutes. I don't think my reading is quite that structured, if I'm being honest. I tend to read at very chaotic moments. While I'm eating, I'll listen to my audiobook, or I'll read a book. While I'm brushing my teeth, again, I'll listen to my audiobook, or I'll read on my phone. It's a lot more spur of the moment when I get my reading done. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out a way that works for us. This was my little Tuesday check-in. Today there were several new releases that came out that I was very excited for, even though I didn't buy any of them, but one of them was The Empress by Kristen Cast. I did get a physical arc of that book, so that's on my list to read soon. I believe another Bridge Kingdom book came out today in the re-release. I'm very excited to eventually get my hands on all of the new versions of Bridge Kingdom because those books are so good. Anywho, I also really want to do a reread of Fablehaven this month. But I also want to reread Iron Flame and Fourth Wing. I don't think I have time to do both. We'll have to figure out where my priorities lie. Maybe it lies with Fourth Wing and Iron Flame because Onyx Storm comes out in like 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about that for a second. I loved Fourth Wing, and I did barely read Iron Flame last year. I don't really remember what happens in Iron Flame specifically because I kind of devoured it at a fast rate so I could enjoy it Comic-Con. So I do want to go back and read it a little bit slower. I think I'm not gonna do audiobook. I think I'm gonna do physical book, and I'm going to annotate my book because I have a paperback copy of both Fourth Wing and Iron Flame that I got. I think they're technically the Australian versions of the books, and I have already annotated Fourth Wing. I did that before Comic-Con, but I think it's time for me to annotate Iron Flame. I think that's what my goal is for this month. I will go over Fourth Wing, give it a little refresh, even though I've already read it like 3 or 4 times since it came out, but I'll go through it, read it again, and then I'll reread Iron Flame, be ready for Onyx Storm. We'll come back tomorrow for more, hopefully, if I don't forget. Seems likely. I was just getting ready for bed and I was thinking about the fact that Onyx Storm is coming out soon. In 2 weeks. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I know I was just talking about that, but like, it just really sunk in that is happening soon. So I might have to put a pause on all my books I'm currently reading, and I might have to shift over to Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. But I was thinking that a lot of people must be in the same boat as me. So perhaps I will do recap videos, either videos or video, depending. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that because I have Fourth Wing that I have annotated and I have deeply loved. So this one will be really easy for me to reread because I've reread it so many times and it's annotated. So like, easy, right? I'm thinking about doing either chapter by chapter. That might be a lot. Maybe like a chunk of chapters. Maybe it'll be like chapter 1 through 4, 1 through 5, and do a little summary of that. I don't know. Haven't decided how I'm going to do that. It might vary. It might not be like every 5 chapters. It might just be like what makes sense. So I don't know why I'm holding this like this, but I also have a paperback copy of Iron Flame that's begging to be annotated. So we'll see. Do you think we can get this done in 2 weeks? Oh, maybe. I think so. I believe in me. I think it's gonna happen. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame day. Day, week, month. I got this. Should I start tonight? I should probably start tonight. Okay, I might start tonight. It's a snow day. When I moved to the desert, I didn't think that we would get snow days. And I've lived here before. I don't know why I didn't think that we would get snow, but it's crazy. It's crazy, look at that. It's not the most snow, it's just a dusting. But like, I'm sorry. Cacti with snow on them doesn't feel normal, doesn't feel natural. But it's so pretty. And it's so cold. A little job of the day every single day on my Instagram this week. So my plans for right now is that I'm going to probably film my job of the day for that, and then I'm gonna go sit outside and I'm going to read Fourth Wing for a little bit. Then maybe in like an hour I will start applying for some jobs, and then I'll get back to reading Fourth Wing and maybe editing some content. And I need to post something, and I think I'm gonna post something snow related today. We'll see. Greetings. I'm coming to you from the evening time. I'm sorry to say that I did not read at all today, at least not yet. I had every intent to do so. Then I got a splitting headache that turned into a migraine, so I didn't. Instead, I laid my butt in bed and I dissociated. There, I said it. And then eventually my mom brought home pizza from Dion's. Oh, Ronald thinks that every time I have a snack, it's for him. She brought home Dion's pizza, and with the pizza she brought the brownies, which if you're from New Mexico and you go to Dion's, you know that the brownies are so good. This is the brownie with walnuts. But anyway, I thought we could do a little chat here about other things while I eat this brownie. I'm gonna be real. Ooh. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I did end up filming that job of the day, which if you're not familiar with a job of the day, I feel like just within this video, you probably are. But it's drink, outfit, book of the day. Easy content to put up and kind of keep up with my brand of We Are Currently Reading, because for someone who has a brand of We Are Currently Reading, I hardly ever post what I'm currently reading. I digress. While I was filming that video, I spotted my bald spot, which if you watch Vlogoween, I mentioned it then in one of the videos, but basically since September, I have noticed that I'm developing a bald spot in the back of my head, like at the crown of my head, if you will. And it has progressively gotten bigger as the months have passed. So what once was like a quarter size bald spot is now a decent size, like maybe mason jar sized at the top of my head. And it has made it increasingly harder to do things with my hair because you can see it. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do about that yet. I have been taking supplements, hair growth supplements that have like biotin and other stuff. I don't really know. I've been taking hair growth supplements. I've been hair oiling with some sort of like biotin, rosemary oil mixture. I don't know. I bought it at Target. Been using a medicated shampoo and then also using a rosemary shampoo like when I alternate, because the medicated one is really drying my hair out, which I don't feel like is a good thing. Even though it comes with a conditioner, like it doesn't do anything for me. And I just bought on Amazon a like one of those rollers, the derma rollers. I don't know what they're called. I've heard that if you roll your scalp and then add your oil, like it like causes those like little irritations, little tiny pinprick holes, and therefore causes regeneration of skin and hair growth, and also makes the oil penetrate deeper. Hate that word, not to quote Pitch Perfect, but not a good enough reason to use the word penetrate. Anyway, I'm going to give that a go, really see what I can do to encourage hair growth, because at this point I've been working on trying to stop the hair loss for about since October, really. So what, that's like 3-ish months, a little over 3 months, and nothing's really helped. It's still, my bald spot's still getting bigger. I have decided that if I don't see any improvement, like obviously I'm not thinking that my hair's gonna sprout overnight, but if I'm not seeing any new hair growth, if I'm not seeing the bald spot not get smaller, but like at least not get bigger, if I'm not seeing any sort of results at all by the end of January, I'm very much considering shaving my head. Because I think it would be less embarrassing for me as a person to be bald than for me to have a giant spot of my hair missing that like people on the street, people I don't know, people who don't know me, who don't know my situation can see. Because a lot of my friends, actually the whole internet at this point, just knows that I have a bald spot, because I'm not shy about talking about it, but it's really embarrassing. It's really embarrassing and it makes me self-conscious. So I'm doing what I can, but I have limited budget. I don't have health insurance because, you know, being an American's really fun like that. And I just moved, so I don't have a job either. So working on all of that, it's probably stress related. It's all probably stress related, but there is a slight chance that it's something bigger than that. And I won't know because I don't have the ability to go to the doctor without going into debt. So I digress. That is not what I wanted to talk about. I did want to talk about Epic the Musical though. I'm so in love with the Ithaca Saga. I kid you not, I listen to it at least once a day, usually more than that. Usually it's on loop and I just can't stop. I can't stop. It's so good. Jay is an absolute genius. The way he ties things in from the different sagas, and he had like left a breadcrumb trail for us to follow, and like he casted the perfect people too. I can't imagine anyone else voicing any of those characters like anyone different. It's perfect. I am interested to see where it goes from here. I'm interested to see what happens with the sweatshirts. Because if you saw, what is the Golden Tiefling? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. They're a tea company, a tea brand. It's actually local to Washington that is in charge of their official merch. And when the Ithaca saga dropped, they had some sort of like cryptic message on their stories where they were like, get the crew necks now, and they have plenty of room for signatures if you happen to meet the cast in your travels. And I'm like, bestie, what do you mean? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen that I'm gonna just meet these people in my travels? My current running theory is that they're going to be a surprise guest at Emerald City Comic Con. I would love that. Especially because my friend and I are thinking about doing an Epic the Musical themed cosplay. And I say Epic the Musical and not the Odyssey because I'm gonna probably be Politis and they're going to be a Winion, a little Lotus Eater if you will. I know other people who are doing a Penelope and Telemachus cosplay for Comic-Con as well. It's gonna be a very epic themed weekend. I'm also low-key planning to do something epic themed for my 31st birthday, which is the same week as Comic-Con. I'm not sure what that's gonna look like yet because I have not thought about it, but I am excited. Other things I'm excited for. I found this girl on TikTok who, I think her name is Morgan. I might be wrong. Maybe it's Maddie. It's an M name. Maybe Morgan is the last name. I think her name might be Maddie. Anyway, she did a fan audiobook version of Fourth Wing and she posted it on YouTube. And so I just followed her and I'm thinking I might listen to her fan casted audiobook while I do my reread because it sounds like a lot of fun. And she's doing it chapter by chapter and obviously she's not quite through it yet. No, Ronald. My cat is trying to poison himself by eating some of this brownie. Anyway, I think if you look for her channel, it is Fourth Wing Maddie's version. I think my plan is that I'm going to listen to her version of Fourth Wing while I do my reread. I think that's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna keep me engaged in a book I've already read and reread multiple times. So yeah, if you don't want to wait for me to do a recap, because honestly, as excited as I am to do this, it might take me forever to do. It might take me forever to edit this video, let alone a whole recap of 2 giant books. I don't know why I'm winded. Apparently it's hard to fight off a cat. Anyway, feel free to listen to her fan created audiobook. I will link it because it's so good. I had a really good time listening to the little chunk that I did listen to earlier. And I guess she did all the special effects. It's casted by a whole bunch of fans of the book, so they get it. She does all the sound effects, she directed it, she's editing it. It's pretty impressive. And she does a really good job voice acting. She's the one who is narrating and voicing Violet, which honestly, so good. If anyone asked me to read out loud ever, no. It's a dream I would have to be an audiobook narrator, but it's a dream that I think is gonna have to die. There's no way. I'm incredibly impressed by MT Zimney's audiobook narrator, who is Elizabeth Phillips. She is so talented. The way she narrates MT Zimney's characters, I couldn't have thought the voices and the inflections better myself. I think she was just so on the nose, so perfect. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll feel all the feelings. Highly recommend. I love audiobooks. They're so good. I wish I could listen to audiobooks all the time, but there are a lot of tasks that I do that I couldn't listen to an audiobook while doing them. Eating, good. Cleaning, good. But like, I can't like do something important while I'm listening to an audiobook. Like, I can't apply for jobs and listen to an audiobook. Those 2 things do not go together. It's a bummer. It truly is. Oh well. This was a whole lot of nothing. I'm so sorry you had to watch me eat a brownie. Speaking with my mouth full and everything. All this to say I didn't read any today. Maybe I'll read some Fourth Wing and listen to it here in a little bit. But I'm gonna need to wash my face and like take my contacts out, get ready to go to bed first, and then we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. It is Thursday and it's another snow day. So I've just been taking care of some chores around the casita, including cleaning out the litter box, switching my sheets, and spending time with my cats. I have just pulled out my copy of Fourth Wing to read. So yeah, I just ate lunch, pulled out my books, have my notebook ready to go so I can take notes on exactly what happens in every chapter. I have my little aesthetic video going from YouTube, and honestly, the snow outside is truly a vibe. I actually like kind of low-key love it. It looks so strange with the desert. So anyway, that's what I planned for the day. I have no other plans to do anything else. I'm just planning on reading and relaxing and doing my best to contain any stress levels I may have from life. And yeah, I'll keep you posted on how this goes. I now remember exactly why I pulled out my camera, specifically about Fourth Wing and my reread. I wanted to show you my copy of Fourth Wing because I know I like mentioned it and it's annotated. I wanted to show you why this edition is so special to me. So not only is she gold and stunning, but I have her stamped with my little book stamp that I got, and it's signed. It's signed by Rebecca Yarros. I got it signed last year at Comic-Con, and she signed it after I'd already annotated it. So she got to see some of my annotations. She did flip through it a little bit, and I have this really cute picture where I pointed out, where is it? This little bit. I pointed this out to her, and I said, Rebecca, what's this about? This is suspicious, and she just gave me a look. So she's already ready to hurt my feelings, but yeah, I just wanted to show you my amazing copy of Fourth Wing. I have, it's tabbed and annotated and highlighted, and since I do own multiple copies of this book, I don't feel so bad that I have kind of really loved this book. It's beaten up a little bit. It's seen better days, but that's, like, the spine is broken. But I don't care, because this is my annotated copy, and even though Rebecca has signed it, it doesn't take away from the fact that this is my annotated copy. This is my copy to read and reread and carry with me and show people and touch and feel, and it just makes it more special because it is signed. And I have a first edition hardcover that's signed and personalized as well, so that I definitely don't feel bad about manhandling this one. It's too bad that she's not going to be at Comic-Con this year, because my plan is to annotate and tab Iron Flame as well whilst I do this reread, and it would be really nice to get her to sign this one, but unfortunately I have no plans to see Rebecca this year, so that'll have to wait possibly forever. Yeah, I just really wanted to show you that because it's just really fun to have annotated books and then to have authors sign your annotations. I shouldn't have done that. I should have touched my face to it. Now my face grease is on the spine. Granted, it's probably mostly my sunscreen. Use your sunscreen even if it's a snowy day and you're staying inside. You never know what UV rays are gonna come through your windows and destroy your skin. Anyway, I'm going back to reading now. Okay, friends, I have been failing miserably at reading this week because I've just had really bad headaches. I sat down, started reading, I was getting into it. I haven't even passed chapter 1 at this point. I was convinced this wasn't gonna take me very long because yeah, it's like 400 pages, but like I can knock out 400 pages in a day. That's not the problem here. But I sat down to read earlier and I got a headache, and so I took a nap instead. And then I've been feeling like this for a couple of days where I get a headache and it starts off as just a headache and then Ronald, stop. And then it turns into like almost a migraine where I get like nauseous. You cannot play with the strap of my camera. I end up, okay. So anyways, I start reading, get tired, get a headache, take a nap, and then I get nauseous and then I don't want to do anything. So it is now technically midnight and I've just been sitting here dissociating and doom scrolling, and I really want to get back into reading now. I also wanted to note that when I first moved in December, I called my local Barnes & Noble and I asked if there were any spots available for the Onyx Storm release party because I want to go. Even though I don't know anybody who reads in this area, I don't care. I'll go by myself. I have no problem with that. That's fine. I had called, I asked if there was any spots left for the Onyx Storm release party and they said no. So fine, you know, it's whatever. But today, because of the snow, I saw on their stories that they were closing early, and so then I was just like, oh, I'm just like curious about what they've been posting recently at my local store. And wouldn't you know that the most recent post was posted on January 1st, and it was about Onyx Storm and the release party, and there's still being spots available. On January 1st, there were still spots available. So I call. I had just barely woken up from my nap, and I call and I said, hey, are there still spots available? I saw online that you are still advertising the Onyx Storm release party. And they said, yes. Yes, there are still spots available. Great, great, great. So I reserved my spot. I still have to go into the store to actually pre-order the book because apparently they can't just like put you down for a pre-ordered book. I think it's a bit ridiculous because in the past you put your name down and you're reserving your copy like you would if you like called and reserved a book, like, oh, I'm gonna go pick it up later, or like, because it's not like they're not gonna sell it, whatever. So I'm gonna go do that whenever it's not snowing, but I have to do it before the 13th, which I think is Monday. So there's that. I'm pretty excited about it because I was very devastated that I wasn't gonna get to go to a midnight release party for Onyx Storm, but now I can, and so I really just need to get this book finished so that way I can be ready for Onyx Storm. Forget the video that I'm planning on making. I need to finish reading this so that I can be ready to read Onyx Storm in like 2 weeks. So, is it even 2 weeks? Is it less than 2 weeks? Oh my. Yeah, I need to get cracking. I need to finish this and get cracking. While I was doing other things this evening, I was listening to the audiobook for Teller of Small Fortunes, and I'm about 45% of the way through now, and I'm really enjoying it. I love it. It's pretty low stakes, which is like what I feel like is considered a cozy fantasy when something's low stakes. It's low stakes, but like the characters are really well developed, and I love that it's a mishmash group that don't quite fit together, but yet they have a lot in common, but their life experiences are different and their goals are different, but they all are looking for this companionship and they all want to be together and they all want to support each other, and I just love it so much. And it deals with really big, real issues in a way that is, you know, it's fantastical. It's done in a fantasy world, so it's like real but also not real, and I just love it. I didn't think I would. Well, I thought I would. It sounded good, but like cozy fantasy is not usually my genre, and so that's kind of was like, oh. maybe it's not for me, but I think this is for me. I'll have to like reframe how I think about cozy fantasy after this because I'm digging it. I'm going to try to read a bit more. I turned on my heated blanket. I was cuddling with my cat, but he has since abandoned me because I told him he could not play with my camera strap. I am laughing because I saw some of my annotations when I was flipping through, and I'm laughing at just the sheer nonsense that I spew when I was annotating. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Like, I just think that if someone wanted to read Fourth Wing for the first time, or even someone who wanted to do a reread of Fourth Wing, I feel like they would enjoy my annotations because some of them are pretty unhinged. Some of them are pretty great. like, come on now. If you didn't sing that, you're not doing it right. I'm just saying. Oh man, I forgot how much fun I had annotating this book. It's really, if I ever annotate books, do not think I'm putting profound thoughts in here. Like, I'm not saying anything profound. I am just letting all of my most unhinged thoughts out of my brain and onto paper. Like, this is what the inside of my brain looks like, is these annotations, and yeah, I think it's fun. I'm having a fun time rereading and like seeing my annotations and the ridiculous things I have to say about parts, so. Hi friends, it is Friday, so I didn't record anything from earlier today because I went looking at houses with my mom because she's in the market for buying, and I've had a headache, and it seems like that's going to be a pattern that's going to persist for the next couple of days because I have not been able to get rid of this headache, and so not a whole lot of reading is getting done, not a whole lot of fun things are being done, so there's not really a lot to vlog. I think I'm going to wrap this up here because of that, and we will either try again next week or we will try again soon once I'm feeling better, because it's really just been me talking and not a lot of reading or a lot of bookish things in general. I think it went pretty well overall. You got to hear me yap. It's a yap session for us all. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I hope that I can continue to record things, and maybe next week instead of recording a new vlog, I will go back and edit some old vlog footage from the past, and maybe I'll kind of alternate like that, so that way there's stuff to edit that I recorded and never did anything with, and you can get some new stuff also. I'm really glad we got to see the snow though. That was one for the books, not gonna lie. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being part of my little bookish family. I hope you have the best day ever. Love you guys. Bye!